What we have once enjoyed we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched, they must be felt with the heart. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is my chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. What I'm looking for is not out there, it is in me. There is no king who has not had a slave among his ancestors, and no slave who has not had a king among his. Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with the sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, and social justice can never be attained. Your success and happiness lie in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. What I am looking for is not out there, it is in me. People don't like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant. Death is no more than passing from one room into another. But there's a difference for me, you know. Because in that other room I shall be able to see. The welfare of each is bound up in the welfare of all. It is hard to interest those who have everything and those who have nothing. Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. Unless we can help the world where we are, we could not help it if we were somewhere else. God himself is not secure, having given man dominion over his work. Meanwhile the desire to express myself grew. The few signs I used became less and less adequate, and outbursts of passion invariably followed my failures to make myself understood. No one has a right to consume happiness without producing it. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something, and because I cannot do everything I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. Instead of comparing our lot with that of those who are more fortunate than we are, we should compare it with the lot of the great majority of our fellow men. It then appears that we are among the privileged. Face your deficiencies and acknowledge them, but do not let them master you. Let them teach you patience, sweetness, insight. Face your deficiencies and acknowledge them, but do not let them master you. Let them teach you patience, sweetness, insight.
You cannot touch love, but you can feel the sweetness it pours into everything.
Love is like a beautiful flower which I may not touch, but whose fragrance makes the garden a place of delight just the same. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. Toleration is the greatest gift of the mind. It requires the same effort of the brain that it takes to balance oneself on a bicycle. Once I knew only darkness and stillness. My life was without past or future. But a little word from the fingers of another fell into my hand that clutched at emptiness, and my heart leaped to the rapture of living. Things must be felt with the heart. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all.
Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first.
Life is an exciting business, and most exciting when it is lived for others. Happiness is the final and perfect fruit of obedience to the laws of life. A happy life consists not in the absence, but the mastery of hardships. When we do the best we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our life or the life of another. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. We are never delighted until we try to brighten the lives of others. Many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but fidelity to a worthy purpose. No matter how dull, or how mean, or how wise a man is, he feels that happiness is his indisputable right. It all comes to this: the simplest way to be happy is to do good. The bulk of the world's knowledge is an imaginary construction. What a blind person needs is not a teacher but another self. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence, and I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein to be content. One can never consent to creep when one feels an impulse to soar. The highest result of education is tolerance. Long ago men fought and died for their faith, but it took ages to teach them the other kind of courage, the courage to recognize the faiths of their brethren and their rights of conscience. The best educated human being is the one who understands most about the life in which he is placed. A good education is a stepping stone to wealth. A child must feel the flush of victory and the heart-sinking of disappointment before he takes with a will to the tasks distasteful to him and resolves to dance his way through a dull routine of textbooks. The most pathetic person in the world is someone who has sight but no vision. As selfishness and complaint pervert the mind, so love with its joy clears and sharpens the vision. Of all the senses, sight must be the most delightful. I thank God for my handicaps, for, through them, I have found myself, my work, and my God. The greatest tragedy in life is people who have sight but no vision. The worst thing in the world is not to be born blind, but to be born with sight, and yet have no vision. Never bend your head. Always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. I can see, and that is why I can be happy, in what you call the dark, but which to me is golden. I can see a God-made world, not a human-made world. It's wonderful to climb the liquid mountains of the sky. Behind me and before me is God, and I have no fears. When one door closes, another opens. But we often look so regretfully upon the closed door that we don't see the one that has opened for us. There is no better way to thank God for your sight than by giving a helping hand to someone in the dark. We can do anything we want to do if we stick to it long enough.